It's time to shoot the rock. This is the Rockcastle Gun Show on ESPN 102.7 FM, AM 1450, AM 1230, and streaming live on ESPNKY.com. Your weekly double-barrel dose of the biggest names, best products, and most intriguing topics in the world of firearms. Brought to you by Hilux Optics, Swagger by Pods, Shoot with Confidence, J&K Used Cars on the Bypass, and Mohawk Outdoors. In pursuit of liberty, justice, and all things guns. Here are your hosts, Nick and Nate Noble.
Hey, welcome back to the Rockcastle Gun Show here on ESPN Radio 102.7 live here in Bowling Green, 106.1 Saturday mornings up in E-Town with all of our friends up there around Fort Knox. And, of course, our iTunes podcast, you can download that anytime. We're up into the mid-100s now almost, and we've got a lot of great deals. And last week we were live at the Hot Rods Bowling Green Stadium doing a little bit of Americana with baseball and guns, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was a good time, and we had a lot of great companies in there with us. Did a little round robin, got them all on. And now we can officially start talking about the Industry Choice Awards Products of the Year. Some of the companies are fast. I got an ad this afternoon from one of the handgun company that won Handgun of the Year. They're working fast and using it, and you're going to be seeing these products all over the place.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a couple of them on tonight just for fun.
Yeah, and, you know, that ended up being an epic event for us. It is. We were in our fourth year in the Industry Choice Awards. We've talked about this a lot on the show. But, you know, bringing in the most independent, we consider it the most independent and unbiased evaluation of products, bringing in product, experts in firearms from military, law enforcement, gunsmithing, professional shooter, retailers, wholesalers, everybody in the gun business. They come in and they evaluate over 100 products and really put it through the ringer. And it's solid, and we have no outside influence from any advertisers. They're actually anonymous when they're there, so we only know that they're, evaluator number 5, and they're giving their comments, so they don't even have to, they can wear true colors and not have to even, if they're sponsored or have affiliations with different firearms companies, they can actually give it the true test.
Yeah, and there's a couple companies that have won a couple times, and it's, when we're talking about the data and everything, you can really see why. So it's actually pretty cool and tells you more that the process works because of the things companies are doing with their products based on the feedback they're getting from the people that are evaluating. They're changing the industry and the manufacturing processes and the creativity and the fit, form, and finish of products in the industry using the data from the evaluation. And they'll get data on let's say it's a handgun, like the Handgun of the Year this year. Last year they got bad data on it. Nobody liked it for many reasons. Well, they took the data and they changed what they did, and now they got Handgun of the Year again. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see that going around because we're going to be talking about them over the next few weeks. Tonight we have 2 on. We got the Optics of the Year on. They're coming up here first, and we got the Rifle of the Year coming up next, and then we're going to talk to our good friend Tim Jensen from Grunt Style. Talk about a little American bourbon, Grunt Style, and some cool things going on with that company.
Yeah, so we've been very busy at Rockcastle Shooting Center here in Park City, Kentucky. 2,000-acre shooting sports resort, hotel, restaurant, winery. We've got long range shooting out to 1,700 yards. Another rifle range out to 700 yards. But 3D archery, pistol ranges, cowboy action ranges, sporting clays, 5-stand, and I can't tell you. We're in the listening area in South Central Kentucky right here for those who are listening on the radio live or streaming on ESPN Radio 102.7.com. But you can come up there and become a member for $150 a year. Or if you're just walking off the street, it's $10 an hour, $30, $40 for the day, and you could come up and bring your guns. We have gun rental. We have some ammunition for sale, and you can really kind of get your thing on. It was fun. Yesterday we had a big group of Japanese businessmen that came in and had never shot guns before, so we got a range officer out there with them, and they rented a SCAR.
Everybody likes to rent the SCAR.
The Ruger American handgun, and they went out on the range, and I've never seen so many pictures taken on a shooting range as there were with those folks out there. So it's fun to introduce new people to firearms. And if you're not even the most experienced person, you've never been to a shooting range before, check out Rockcastle Shooting Center, rockcastleshootingcenter.com, and come up and become a member with us and hang out, or just come up and shoot and bring your friends. And you can always come up and see all of our big events. We'll host over 30 or 40 shooting competitions this year. They're always open to the public. No charge there. You just sign in at the front desk, get a wristband, and you can come check it out. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, let's get our first guest on. Oh, he's not.
Yeah, we're rowdy on
working.
that. Yeah, so we're working on that one. So why don't we go to a break right now, and we'll go pay some of our sponsors. We couldn't do this without our sponsors, and J&K Used Autos, family-owned business right here in Bowling Green, selling wonderful used cars. Are fantastic. We got Mohawk Outdoors. It was so great to see Mohawk Outdoors. They had a team represented at the Industry Choice Awards, and Mr. Brian Webb from ESPN Radio got to join them on that. And Brian's been around a few guns, and he's shot some a little bit in his life, but I don't think he's ever shot as many guns in a short period of time. And he was just having a blast. And he's like, I'm a gun guy now, And so it's really cool to have folks from ESPN join us out there on the range.
The only thing louder than him.
Yeah, the only thing louder than Brian Webb
is a gun.
So that was really cool. And we want to just thank all of our folks that do so much for us. And we'll be right back after this break. And we'll bring you the biggest and best names in the firearms industry. You're listening to Rockcastle Gun Show on ESPN Radio.
J&K Used Cars is the place to go when you need a quality automobile at an affordable price. Stop in at 670 on the bypass in Bowling Green and see this week's special. The 2019 Honda Ridgeline 4-wheel drive 4-door truck comes with V6 engine, auto transmission, good miles, power options, and more for only $13,995. Hurry in, because at that price it won't last long. J&K Used Cars, with over 40 years of serving the community with affordable prices on quality automobiles. Visit J&K on the bypass and online at jnkusedcars.com.
This is Nate from Rockcastle Shooting Center. Did you know that one of the premier shooting ranges in the world is right here in South Central Kentucky? Rockcastle Shooting Center has something for everyone's recreational shooting enjoyment. From 3D archery to our brand new sporting clays course, handgun ranges full of steel to targets out to a mile. There's no better place to get some trigger time than Rockcastle Shooting Center. Non-members are welcome, and memberships start at $150 per year. We offer a fantastic range of firearms training and education opportunities, from the most basic to the most advanced. Come see us, exit 48 on I-65, Park City, Kentucky. Visit rockcastleshootingcenter.com.
Single concert tickets for Orchestra Kentucky's new season are on sale now, featuring 50th anniversary celebrations of Woodstock and the release of the Beatles album Abbey Road, plus tributes to Nat King Cole, Paul Simon, Rodgers and Hammerstein, the Memphis Sound, John Williams, and more. Tickets start at only $17. Order yours online anytime at orchestrakentucky.com or call 270-846-2426 to charge by phone. Orchestra Kentucky presents a season of the music you love. The Beatles, Paul Simon, John Williams, on sale now. Call 270-846-2426. Sponsored by Jim and Darlene Johnson, Jim Johnson Nissan Hyundai, and the Haskins Foundation.
A lot of words can describe Gravely mowers. Tough, smart, powerful, but there are two words that cut through them all. Thank you. After 100 years, we owe it all to the hardworking lawn professionals. You are the driving force behind our story. The ones that inform our design and our decisions. You are responsible for inspiring the most legendary Gravely zero-turn lineup to date. Zero turns that are tough as nails. Operator comfort beyond compare. Smarter, easier, more intuitive controls. So go ahead, climb aboard an all-new Gravely zero-turn mower. Experience a machine built for professionals by professionals. At the end of the day, give yourself a well-deserved pat on the back. This generation of Gravely is the performance you've always wanted. All we did was listen. Gravely, driven from within. See the Vance store in Bowling Green and Glasgow.
Lord, I'm a rambling man. Don't fool around with a rambling man.
Hey, this is Tommy Thacker, and you're listening to the Rockcastle Gun Show on ESPN.
Yeah, welcome back to the Rockcastle Gun Show, ESPN Radio 102.7.com. Shout out to our friends in Elizabethtown, Kentucky on 106.1. The show is aired there Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. What a great time to listen to the Rockcastle Gun Show. Saturday mornings, just getting up, having some coffee after a hangover, or you're out on the range or mowing the yard. Good time to listen to the Rockcastle Gun Show.
I'll tell you what, we've seen just a whole bunch of influx of folks from the Fort Campbell or Fort Knox area up there in E-Town and Radcliffe and all that, and it's been great to have them down. I mean, just a bunch of folks coming down. Some of them recently moved here. There's a lot of influx of, some of the soldiers moving in and out. So it's really cool to have those folks down there and listen to the show.
Yeah, and those of you in E-Town that are finding it on 106.1 locally, don't forget the podcast. We got 150 of them almost, not that quite many yet, but we're getting there. And you can go to any iTunes or any podcast platform, look for the Rockcastle Gun Show, and download 120-something plus episodes. Biggest names, best products, and the most interesting topics in the world of firearms, competition. We talk gun law sometimes. We talk it all. Great guests that are related to the industry, and a lot of knowledge in the shooting.
Yeah, that's a lot of. Yeah, if you really catalog our 120 plus whatever number of episodes and the knowledge and the different guns, gear, and American heroes that we talk to, it's pretty entertaining. We try to bring you something a little bit different every time we get on there. Get on Facebook at Rockcastle Shooting Center if you'd like to hear some different things. Different subjects, different types of guns, different types of products. Give us some suggestions on that. If you have any questions, you can post them on there, and we'll try to address them here. But it's your host Nick and Nate Noble here, and we got our patriarch here from the Rockcastle Gun Show. Our dad Jim Noble is in the house, along with our producer Garrett Browning, and we just got done. We kind of wrapped the Industry Choice Awards, which is the most pure evaluation of products in the firearms industry. We just wrapped that up, and we had a 2-day fun shoot, and then we had some parties and some formal awards banquets, and we named pistol, rifle, shotgun, optic, ammunition, target, accessory, you name it. We kind of got it all out there after the evaluators were here back in March. And Nate, what were some of the surprising things that you kind of what kind of tugged at, like makes you scratch your head a little bit about some of the products that came through?
Yeah, the one of the things I want to talk about Industry Choice Awards and the products of the year is you're going to be seeing a lot of them, the products, the winners, the runners-up, coming over the wires at places like TacticalLife.com and Guns and Ammo Magazine, part of the Athlon Outdoors group, and all of their platforms. You'll start seeing stuff like that over the next few months. I know I get an email from TacticalLife.com about once a week, and they're going to start sending out all the information on the products of the year. But there's the optics category was interesting. We're trying to get Sig Sauer Optics on with us tonight. We're having some technical difficulties with their phone lines, but optics was a deep category. You have some of the best companies in the industry. Sig Sauer, of course, we're trying to talk to tonight. Leupold, Collis Optics. There's the Acme machine. They got a bunch of new scopes and stuff out. And one of the things, there's everything from $5,000 rifle scopes in there to $24 red dots. And it's interesting to see who wins, and you can see the results of the evaluation, because it's not always the biggest, brightest, most expensive optic there is that gets it. Sometimes it's companies like Sig Sauer, and they're, for the price, if you go back over the data, the price and what they're putting on the market is awesome. And I think we finally have him. Troy, are you with Andy? Oh, sorry, Andy. Andy, you're with us from Sig Sauer, brother. What's up?
Yeah, I apologize. We were in an R&D meeting, and I couldn't get to the phone, so I apologize for that.
No problem. Andy York's the president of Sig Sauer Optics, and we're proud to have you on here. We had, it's great to have the Sig Sauer team come in and shoot the Industry Choice Awards and our fun shoot, and you guys submitted, just as a company, a lot of incredible products, and but we're here to talk all about optics tonight. And Nate, there was, like you were just saying in the lead up to this, there were some incredible optics out there, and let's talk about how it all shook out.
Yeah, and you guys, Andy, you guys have won before with the range finding equipment and Optic of the Year. It's not a it's actually a growing spot in y'all's business, but you guys are making some amazing things. This year you put in the Kilo 3000 binocular with the BDX system in it and the BDX rifle scope, the Sierra 3 BDX rifle scope. And what an amazing platform this is. And when you get, when you know, I'm not an evaluator, so I can't really judge, but I can talk from my experience with the Kilo 3000 BDX binocular. It's amazing. I mean, for the money that you spend on it and the things it does, the speed of acquisition of target on the rangefinder in a quality set of glasses is pretty amazing. Can you kind of enlighten us on what the BDX system does? A lot of people aren't going to know unless they really get into pairing the products together. So talk through the BDX a little bit and tell us all about the system.
Yeah, it's a tough one because when you start talking about the ballistic data exchange, the BDX system, you know, to folks in person or, you know, in advertising or online or on radio, you know, it can sound complicated really quick and because the system allows you to do quite a bit. I mean, in a nutshell, there's an app that you download for your phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android. It's called SIG BDX. It's a free download. You can download it now for free if you want to take a look at it. Just go to your iStore or Google Play account and download SIG BDX. And when you got to pair and bond that with a rangefinder or with a scope or with a rangefinder and a scope. So you can use the system three ways, right? So you set up ballistic profiles in the app, and you can transmit those profiles. You know, say I'm setting up a 6.5 Creedmoor, you know, hunting at 2,000 feet of elevation and it's 60 degrees out. It'll send that into the rangefinder, and then when you go in the field, you just use it like a regular rangefinder, whether it's the Kilo 3000 or any of our other kilos. And when you release the range button, you not only get the yardage, but you get your real-time applied ballistics calculated MOA or MRAD holds for wind and for elevation based on what you put into the app, right? And so you can use it just like that and then go to your scope and dial or use a milling reticle or whatever you're used to using. That's one way of using BDX. The second way is to send your profile to the scope in the form of a digital ballistic holdover reticle. So if you want to do, you have up to 8 holds you can turn on in the app, and you could say, hey, I want to hold at I want 100 yard zero, and I want to hold at 2, 3, 4, 450, and 500 yards. It'll light up those holds for you. And then if you don't own our rangefinder yet, and you have whatever rangefinder you're using, and it says it's a 450 yard shot, you just go down to your 450 yard hold and you shoot. And then that's the second way to use the system. And then the third way is to marry the rangefinder and the scope together in the app, and that's called bonding. And then when you range the target, it actually computes the exact hold and lights that hold up for you in the rifle scope. So that starts to sound complicated when you go through that. The best way to use the system is to actually just see it in action, because if you see it in action, you'll be so compelled when you see it that you'll want to go figure out how it all works. But if you start with how it works, sometimes it gets a little techie out of the gate. So.
Well, there's two really cool things about it to me, and I can speak to it from both the long-range shooting standpoint and the hunting standpoint. So let's say you're a hunter that is not very good at ballistic data. I can tell you that most long-range shooters that are good at long-range shooting are using ballistic apps on their phone. And the reason they're doing that is because instead of just knowing or guessing where your rifle or your bullet impact is at 275 yards, the ballistic apps are mapping it out. They're mapping your bullet in true trajectory forms, everything from 100 to the infinite flight of the bullet, right, where the bullet eats the dirt. So that's all in your computer system and on your app, on your phone. And a lot of our long-range shooting, even our best instructors that are coming out of the special forces and things, they're using handheld apps on their phones or their Kestrel equipment or whatever they're doing. The second part of it is, as a hunter, if you're not good at all that stuff, the BDX system to me kind of takes the guesswork out. So for our listeners, what I would recommend on this system is download the app on your phone, get your true ballistic data on your gun and your bullets, and use that bullet all the time. Let's say you're going bear hunting in eastern Kentucky. If you have that data on there, and you have the range finding binocular, and you have the BDX scope, you got your data. When you range the target, it lights up lights up your hold on the rifle scope, and that's pretty simple.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple.
It's simple as that. And you put the dot on. The theme for the ad campaign was connect the dot. And
connect the dot
because of the simplicity of the statement. Everything that happens before you go on the hunt is the setup and the bonding and creating the profile.
And that's fun too.
Once you've done that and you're actually in the field, it's as simple as literally just range your target. Get on target with your scope and put the dot on the target and pull the trigger. There is no more, I've got to dial back to my zero stop, or I have to remember how many rotations on the dial I've already dialed, or, how many clicks of adjustment do I have to make, and, what is 15 MOA again, and, or using a fancy Christmas tree style, holdover reticle. You literally just look at where the dot is lit up on the wire and put it on target and pull the trigger.
Yeah, and for all you guides and outfitters out there, think about it this way. If you're giving your client a rifle to shoot a bear with at 1,500 yards, you hand them the rifle and you say, look, the wind's blowing a little bit. You're going to have to hold off to the left at least a mil. Do you understand what a mil is? Oh, yeah, I got that. It's the first tick mark on there or whatever. You're going to have to hold off a little bit. But when I range this bear, the yellow dot is going to appear in there, and that's where you put on the bear. So it's pretty simple for that terms, too, because on the guide outfitter business or hunting in general, it simplifies so many things, and I think that's really cool.
Well, yeah, and the beauty of it is that in that instance you were just talking about, the guide, let's say the guide's doing the ranging, right? So the guide will actually know that the reticle was updated looking through the rangefinder. The Bluetooth symbol flashes in the rangefinder to say not that it sent new data to the scope, but that the data got to the scope, the reticle was updated. It's a confirmation back that the rifle scope is showing the correct hold, right? So the guide knows. And then the shooter, if they're looking at the scope from the outside, the blue light on the power selector will blink very fast saying, I just got a new reticle. Or if the shooter's already looking through the scope, the display does a quick animation whenever it gets an update. So you also know I just got a new hold point. So we tried to make it as redundant as we could so that you would always know that you have a new reticle hold before you pull the trigger, right?
Yeah, and the speed at which it works, I don't know if you can quantify the speed, but on the range finding equipment, the millisecond you hit the button out to, let's say, 2,000, up at Rockcastle, we were ranging a tree line at like 2,700. These are no joke rangefinders. They're shooting out a long way. And I think the only reason they couldn't get past that is because we have so much humidity and particles in the air and things like that kind of block it or disrupt the signal. But in Kentucky, in humid Kentucky, shooting 2,700 yards with this rangefinder, and it gives you instantaneous feedback. There is no delay. There's no thinking about it in the optic. And then when we're shooting them in the Industry Choice Awards, you got the talk between the binocular and the scope is also instantaneous. It doesn't take time. It's all there, right?
Yeah, it's an evolution. So if you look at when we started up the optics division here at Sig Sauer 5 years ago, a little bit more than 5 years ago, one of the first products that was really a big hit was our reinvention of the rangefinder with what we call it the Lightwave DSP rangefinding engine, and it just ranges further and exponentially faster than any other rangefinder that was on the market. And so it's a very, very effective rangefinder, and it quickly grabbed a lot of share. We were 5 years old as a division. Maybe that is maybe 3 years ago. So then 2 years ago, we added applied ballistics and came out with Kilo 2400 ABS.
Which won Optic of the Year.
Yeah,
that won Optic of the Year at the Industry Choice Awards when it came out.
Yep. So now we were commingling applied ballistics with our great rangefinding engine. And then the third evolution is, this BDX system, which is where we're saying, okay, we got a fantastic rangefinder. We're using an applied ballistics calculator. Why don't we employ a thing called Bluetooth? I think pretty much everybody has Bluetooth on their phone and in their car radio, so people know what Bluetooth is. And why don't we just update the rifle scope and give you your exact hold? So, and it happens, like you said, incredibly fast because, I mean, rangefinders are light detectors at the end of the day, and so they're working at light speed. They're sending out a light pulse, and they're clocking the return reflection back at the speed of light in determining the yardage, right? And so it's the speed of light, and then the communications to the scope are the speed of electricity, basically, which is almost as fast as the light. Yeah. We're talking on the phone right now from Kentucky out to Oregon, and it's real time. That's how fast electricity is traveling. So it's the same with the comms between the rangefinder, the Kilo 3000, and the rifle scope. I mean, it's instant. As soon as you release the range button on the rangefinder, you have a new hold point in your scope.
And everybody out there, last point before we have to jump off to a commercial break, but everybody out there listening to this conversation is going, this thing must cost $1 million.
Well, and I think we failed to mention that the Kilo 3000 and this whole BDX system was actually the ICA optic of the year. So congratulations. You guys have taken home your second optic in a very, very grueling, very anonymous and unbiased evaluation process with over 35 people from all walks of life within the firearms industry and different experience levels. We went through the data during the award system, and our evaluators it's amazing the amount of knowledge they had. And after putting every optic, and as Nate was saying as we came out of break the last time, it was one of the deepest categories that we had. And that Kilo 3000 and the BDX system was ICA Optic of the Year. So that's pretty impressive.
No, we're really pleased to get that, and we appreciate the kudos on it. The team here worked incredibly hard on that, and it is a great binocular and a great rangefinder, and the fact that it's, on the BDX platform, it gives that extra capability to it. And the mention of price point, I mean, it's the first implementation of BDX, we wanted to put it within reach of every hunter. So, if you're going out to buy a rifle scope for $400 or $500, we wanted to give you one with all this added capability at the exact same price. And so that's been our design approach all along, is using electronics and bringing a whole new level of features and functionality, but trying to keep the price within the realm of the ballpark that you were already looking at other optics for whatever application, hunting or shooting. So
yeah, I think.
But that said, this is the first embodiment of it. There are other. BDX is an ecosystem. There'll be other products coming in the future that are different types of products for different types of shooters and hunters. So going forward, there will be other things coming in the next year or so. You'll start to see some of that. But yeah, right out of the gate, we wanted to do a really good, solid rifle scope, kind of a hunting scope for the first BDX platform.
So right on when you came on the radio with us tonight, you came out of an R&D meeting. You're the president of the Electro-Optics Division in Sig Sauer, Andy York. So we know there's good things coming because you're in an R&D meeting, and that's a big deal. You just won Optic of the Year with an optic you're going to talk about tonight, and you guys are already planning for next year, which is awesome, and I'm sure for years ahead. And I was asking the team, we need some spotting scopes now. Let's go. Spotting scopes.
Yeah, no, we got a new Oscar 8 that we could probably ship you in a couple of weeks. It's a really great high definition spotting scope that we just launched that's going to be shipping here in July. So just in time for hunting season, we have our new Oscar 8 coming, so we can definitely take care of that.
Let's back up just 1 second before we let you go, Andy. I was talking about price, and just for everybody out there, I mean, you're talking about a 10x42 binocular with a rangefinder in it. This thing is like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like $1,299. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's not. It's $1,199.
$1,199. I was shooting high, and then the scope is like, I think I would say it's probably $899. That's probably high too.
Scopes, they range. So the lower mag one that we just launched this year is a 2.5 to 8, and it starts at $400 at a street price. And then the highest price scope, I think, is $799. So for the full, I think the high end one is a 6 to 24 by 52 or something like that. So there's all different magnification ranges in there. And it's interesting. The new one that we just launched this year, just starting to ship now, it sounds kind of counterintuitive. It's a 2.5 to 8 by 32. But we just went into partnership with Mission on their Sub 1 crossbow, And, we're getting ready to announce another partnership on the muzzleloader side.
Sweet.
And when you think about crossbows and muzzleloaders, for them to shoot with a crossbow at 100 or 150 yards, or a muzzleloader at 300 or 400 yards, is the equivalent of a rifle shooting 1,000 or 1,200 yards, right? So that it's a smaller scope, which at first, when you think about center fire, rifles, you're like, why would you want a lower mag scope for something that's, a ballistically capable long range, BDX platform? But it's expanding the BDX platform to include shotguns and muzzleloaders and crossbows, because it's just as important there to know, that your bolt's on target at 100 yards.
Right on, man. Where does everybody go to find all these great things?
They're pretty much available everywhere. Most of the dealers, most of the major stores, Bass Pro, Cabela's, Sportsman's Warehouse, Shields, and, all the big guys, all the dealers, available online at all the big, optics websites. So, and then of course you can always inquire at the 6hour.com website also to get more information on where to find the product.
Andy York, thanks for coming on, president of the Electro-Optic Division at Sig Sauer. We appreciate you guys. Congratulations on your win for Optic of the Year with the Sig Kilo 3000 BDX binocular system. And we look forward to having you on again and talking about some more of these cool things you guys are making out there.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
We're going to take a short break, pay some sponsors. You're listening to Rockcastle Gun Show, ESPN Radio, 102.7.com.
J&K Used Cars is the place to go when you need a quality automobile at an affordable price. Stop in at 670 on the Bypass in Bowling Green and see this week's special. The 2019 Honda Ridgeline 4-wheel drive 4-door truck comes with V6 engine, auto transmission, good miles, power options, and more for only $13,995. Hurry in, because at that price it won't last long. J&K Used Cars, with over 40 years of serving the community with affordable prices on quality automobiles. Visit J&K on the Bypass and online at jnkusedcars.com.
This is Nate from Rockcastle Shooting Center. Did you know that one of the premier shooting ranges in the world is right here in South Central Kentucky? Rockcastle Shooting Center has something for everyone's recreational shooting enjoyment. From 3D archery to our brand new sporting clays course, handgun ranges full of steel to targets out to a mile. There's no better place to get some trigger time than Rockcastle Shooting Center. Non-members are welcome, and memberships start at $150 per year. We offer a fantastic range of firearms training and education opportunities from the most basic to the most advanced. Come see us, exit 48 on I-65, Park City, Kentucky. Visit rockcastleshootingcenter.com.
This is a Morgan & Morgan consumer message.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One of the first things clients ask me is, what is my case worth? It depends on the injury, liability, and damages. And in most cases, it depends on the lawyer you hire. All lawyers are not the same. I would like to invite you to visit forthepeople.com to see what your case might be worth. You will see injuries like yours, offers made by the insurance company, and verdicts made by juries. We try more cases than any firm in America every year. Insurance companies know which law firms try cases and which firms settle cheap. Your case value is different in the hands of different lawyers. There was only one Babe Ruth, and then hundreds and hundreds of minor league players. I've been around now a long time, fought countless battles. We are fighters who take on giants. In some cases, you hired your lawyer without doing your research, and you can just as quickly fire them if you now think you made a mistake. You only get one swing at the plate. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Offices, Bowling Green.
All right, welcome back to the Rockcastle Gun Show on ESPN Radio. It's your host, Nick and Nate Noble, with our special guest host, Jim Nobles, in the studio with us. Dad, you're not saying a whole lot, so I don't know what's up with that. But you're sitting here shaking your head and nodding, and sometimes, like, what'd you guys just say? that was bull.
Just listening.
Just listening. You're on ESPN Radio's The Rockcastle Gun Show. Hey, we're just at Sig Sauer with their great optics, the Kilo 3000 BDX Optic of the Year. And we're just going to keep carrying this theme of the Industry Choice Awards. And our next guest, Nate, is no stranger to being a patriot, no stranger to building incredible firearms, but he's also no stranger to winning Industry Choice of the Year awards.
Yeah, so for the third year in a row with 3 different rifle platforms, you have the Rifle of the Year and the proprietor of and founder of the company of Patriot Ordnance Factory, Frank DeSoma. What's up, dude?
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Man, have you recovered from the Industry Choice Awards and Firearms Industry Team Challenge?
Oh, that kicked my butt. Unfortunately, I didn't do too well this last year. The year before was fun, but this year was really fun, but it was very challenging, that's for sure. But extremely, extremely fun. Everybody had a ball.
Well, it was a great event, and Frank and your team, your son and Nick and everybody was there. It's always great to have you out there, and it's I'm sure as an innovator and somebody that's producing some of the best products it's fun to get out and shoot other people's products because this whole match is set up to shoot all the firearms and optics and targets and ammunition that were submitted for the evaluations, and you kind of got to go out and do a little eat and greet of all the different ones. You got to shoot them all, and that's pretty fun, I would think, isn't it?
Well, I think it's fun, but to be honest with you, it's great shooting all the different variety of products. And what's even better is you're going in there blind. What I mean by stating that is it's not my gear, unless I was shooting my rifle. Obviously, I'm accustomed to that one. But you're grabbing whatever firearms. It could be a cowboy action, single action gun. It could be a double action semi-auto pistol. It could be a semi-automatic rifle, a pump action shotgun, a semi-automatic shotgun, a bolt action sniper rifle. It was a vast variety of products, and the best part is you had to shoot all these courses that are unknown to you, unfamiliar, with unfamiliar products. You may be aware of them, but how many people carry all that product? Or, have them on themselves when they go shooting? No one.
Nobody. Yeah.
There's not that many products you're bringing out when you go to shoot. So being able to just focus on teamwork, communication, having fun, doing stuff safely and responsibly, and shooting a vast array of widgets, different types of products, while doing a certain course that's under time, that's a lot of pressure on the shooter to try to perform. And when you're unfamiliar with something, there's where the real challenge is, isn't it?
Yeah, that sure is. And one of the things I love the most about the Firearms Industry Challenge, Industry Choice Awards, and you all coming in and shooting all those different platforms, by the time we get to Friday night in the formal awards banquet, which we had down in Lost River Cave, which was an incredible venue, just a magical night, is that there's not a lot of surprises when the product of the year, the rifle of the year, the shotgun of the year, handgun of the year is announced, because everybody for the last 2 days has been playing with them and using them, and everybody pretty much nods their heads and everybody applauds.
I would have to agree with you. There was many people that commented about the Revolution DI that we submitted, and we're blessed and fortunate to achieve Rifle of the Year. And guys, the Industry Choice Award by far is the very best awards to achieve in the firearms industry. When you have a bunch of people that are unknown, that review products, that are in the field or trade, whether they're gunsmiths or shooters, competition shooters or trainers or police officers or military personnel, they could be working at a retail store or a distribution store. Having a vast array of different people going through your product, going through it, manually going through it if it's on your table, and then actually going out for a day of shooting it all, that's pretty amazing. They get in-depth information on the widget. So all that information is extremely valuable. We won the NRA Golden Bullseye Award, and I was gracious and thankful for achieving that. And all I know of that award is there was 8 people that reviewed product. I don't know what they did, how they did, or how they chose, or why they chose. At least with this award, there's a vast array of things that they have to answer questions to, and we get those questions, so it's a valuable information. You have a ball shooting, an extremely challenging and fun team shoot. That's the best part of it, is team shooting more than anything. And you're grabbing all these different products. So, yeah, when you come across products, not even your own, and say, wow, that's really nice. Because we may be in the industry, we're also consumers too, aren't we, guys?
Yes, we are, 100%.
We consume
so it's
a lot.
Really nice. You can appreciate when people make products that They just stand out that much more.
Well, let's talk about your widget, Frank, the one that won the Rifle of the Year. Tell us a little bit about
the Revolution DI 308.
Well, the Revolution is, pun intended, it's truly revolutionary in what we achieved. We made the unobtainable obtainable. And what I'm trying to say here is when you engineer an AR-15 platform that can actually shoot 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor or any of the products of that size, when it's supposed to be in the size of an AR-10, that's achieving something. When you bolt carrier, bolt, barrel extension, charging handle, upper and lower receivers are all the same size, of the platform. Obviously engineered with the geometry of the features to handle the 308 case, like the base and the diameter, the feed, obviously the bore, the barrel. And we lost like 32% girth in the AR-10 doing this. So I feel from an engineering standpoint, we literally leaped ahead of the competition. Who's my competition? Everyone that's building firearms like we are. So we made the lightweight, fast handling, quick, easy, and to handle and operate the standard AR-15 have the power of the battle rifle cartridge. Now you can hunt every single North American game with an AR-15 Revolution that shoots 7.62 by 51 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor. It just makes the gun that much lighter. So if you like and enjoy shooting AR-15s, you can shoot the same gun with a larger cartridge and go hunting in every single state.
And what that means, and let's get to the brass tacks here. That thing weighs, without an optic on it, 6.5 pounds.
Yeah, extremely light.
Extremely light, and it not only that, it looks good. I mean, you guys aesthetically build beautiful rifles, sexy as hell rifles anyway, with all the Cerakoting and everything that goes into them. And then you got ambidextrous controls, and there's really nothing that you guys haven't thought through on this whole system. And like you said, you're talking about the 308 cartridges in that family in the AR-15 platform, which is where the weight comes. And you go to NRA show like we do, and we go booth to booth to booth, and we see everybody. And there's other guys out there in the industry trying to lighten up the 308 AR-10 platforms, and they're not getting it done. And you guys did it through engineering, which is most likely. I mean, everybody goes over. I told you, the evaluators, I watch them. They go over to the box, and they're like, oh, another AR rifle. And they pick it up, and then they're like, whoa, it's 308, and it's so light. That's crazy. But then they take it out and shoot it, and you have very similar recoil to the AR-15 platforms that are shooting the 5.56 rounds. You're on target. Even the shooters in the Industry Choice Awards from the industry said it was amazing that when you pull the trigger, you're still on target for the next round.
And I think that's where the true magic is, because if we would have gave it a new body style, then people would have probably looked at it a little sooner, because it looks like an AR. Okay, I already own that and walk by it, right? Until you open the hood. So this is like having a street rod that was supposed to have a 6-cylinder made from 1957, and you open the hood and there's a big block with twin turbos. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
freedom.
We crammed, and if you think about it, the same thing. We took the lightest, fastest handling, quickest shooting, accurate platform, and we took out the little small block engine and put the big block. We gave it as much horsepower as we could cram in this thing. So now we have a fighting gun because a lot of these AR-10s have turned into belly guns. Guys are laying on the range on a bipod or on a table. This gun you can stand, and when you can stand and hit targets and plates at 100, 200, 300 yards like you do with your carbine, and you're sitting there and doing it with a 308, that's impressive. That's when you start realizing this is a whole different animal we're dealing with. And that's when most people start really, truly realizing what we achieved, is when the first time they press that trigger and they think they're going to get kicked really hard and it's a smooth shot, and they stand up because they're all leaning right forward waiting for that big hit because it's so light. You got a big cartridge. It's got to recoil hard. And they look back at you like shocked, and they stand up normal and start shooting because you are correct. There's not much difference in recoil between the 223 cartridge and the 308 in shooting in the Revolution.
Well, the Revolution truly is just that, and it's our Industry Choice Awards Rifle of the Year. This Frank DeSoma, founder of the Patriot Ordnance Factory. Thank you so much, Frank. We're going to have to let you go right now, but it was such a pleasure to have you and your team come out to Industry Choice Awards, and we couldn't be prouder.
We appreciate it, and it's unbelievable to have actually a three-peat.
A three-peat?
Rifle of the Year. A three-peat.
3 rifles, 3 different platforms.
3 Rifle of the Year awards. That's pretty friggin' amazing. I'm really extremely proud of our team here at Patriot Ordnance Factory.
Well, you certainly should be. So patriotsordnancefactory.com, is that the best way for them to go check out more of your...
POF-USA.com.
POF-USA.com. It's Frank DeSoma with Patriot Ordnance Factory, POF-USA.com. Frank, thank you so much, and we can't wait to have you back on soon, buddy.
Take care. God bless America.
God bless America. You're listening to the Rockcastle Gun Show on ESPN Radio, and we'll be right back. Hey, it's Nick Noble with the Rockcastle Gun Show here. We're talking about Swagger bipods. Do you want just your average barrel rest, or do you want to shoot with some swagger? Introducing the Swagger bipods. They expand your shooting zone with Swagger, the all-terrain hunting bipod. After more than 100 years, finally shooters have a bipod with patented, flexible, hyper-extending telescoping legs that give you the agility like never before. So get rid of stiff legs and get the bipod with infinite maneuverability. Swagger, the bipod that moves.
Although hunting to most of us is much more than just harvesting animals, why not better your deer herd's health with Big & J long-range attractant? Big & J is highly digestible, high in protein, and isn't full of preservatives. With Big & J long-range attractants, you're not only exploiting one of the few weaknesses whitetails have, their stomachs, but you're maximizing antler growth, improving overall herd health, and pulling deer from your neighbor's property. So whether your goals are to fill the freezer, kill mature bucks, or both, Big & J long-range attractants will stack the odds in your favor, all the while making your deer herd bigger and healthier.
This is Tim Jensen from Gun Style. You're listening to ESPN, the Rockcastle Gun Show.
All my exes live in Texas. Thank you, Tim Jensen, for bringing us in with the bump. You're listening to the Rockcastle Gun Show on ESPN Radio. And, we're talking all things ICA, Nate. We just got done with that. And, Frank DeSoma with POF, he just won his third Rifle of the Year award with the Industry Choice Awards. That was a deep field, too.
So you got to look at Patriot Ordnance Factory. A lot of people in the gun business don't even know who Patriot Ordnance Factory is, but they're out of Arizona. They built a brand new building. Frank's an ex-aerospace engineer, so they're engineering some pretty good stuff. I mean, 3-peat on Rifle of the Year on 3 different platforms is amazing. 1776 Freedom Way down in where they are in Arizona, which is awesome. The Rifle of the Year category is no slouch. And you know why now that rifle is going after some of the most elite military. They're in selection for some of the most elite military contracts out there with a 6.5-pound 308 that I know our next guest is going to like. But no slouch in the other companies that were runner-up. I mean, the 2 runner-up rifles were a Sig Sauer M400 Tread, their new AR platform, and a Ruger Precision rimfire 17 HMR. So Ruger and Sig Sauer, 2 of the biggest companies in the industry, and they battled out, and POF came out on top with a 6.5-pound 308, by the way.
That was cool. So
that's badass.
Really cool, and great to have Frank online. And our next guest is no stranger to the Rockcastle Shooting Center. He's no stranger to being a patriot and an American as well. We've got Mr. Tim Jensen, the CEO of Grunt Style. Well, Grunt Style First Sarge is on the line with us. Tim, great to have you back on the Rockcastle Gun Show.
Well, how's it going, my friends? It has been a long time.
Man, too long, by the way. Things are going good here. I know you're doing good. I see all of your posts and everything and the videos you put out, and the violent but true bedtime stories, still one of my favorite things out there. And how is the world of grunt style going on right now?
Well, a lot of great things are happening. We've just came off of the big Army celebration. We had a good little party down at the headquarters in San Antonio. About 500 people showed up to celebrate the 244th birthday of the United States Army, which was fantastic. And, I've been, just really amazed that over the last couple of weeks here, I've been sitting in my office just admiring this most beautiful painting that one Jim Noble has created. And I got to say, it is a masterpiece like none other. Not because it's a painting of me. I'm not that conceited. But, when I first, got to see some of the art hanging around the Rockcastle facility, I was just enamored by Jim's ability to, capture, the attitude and the characteristics of the people that he was rendering, and he just did a bang out job with this painting.
Well,
and if you guys haven't seen it, go to the First Sergeant Grunt Style 1SG Instagram page, and you'll be able to see the masterpiece that he's put together.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I mean, that painting is unbelievable. And my dad, Jim, who happens to be in the studio with us right now, put a lot of time and effort and energy into it. And what amazes me, Dad, and Tim, because he's your subject and you painted this thing, is the unbelievable amount of detail that went into that portrait. And Tim, it captures a lot of what you're about, I think, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, every time I look at it, I find something new, like some little nuance that Jim has been able to kind of hide inside the painting. But, it's just when you kind of look at it all, you're just picking out little pieces that are like, oh, wow. Another part that's just like, it just blows my mind, and the depth of the piece of art. So, well done, Jim, and I couldn't thank you enough for what you put together.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Hey, what's the last thing you found in there that you hadn't seen before?
The inside of the compass, right? Just the detail of that compass. When you really put you put your gaze onto it and really just look into it, it's like, wow, the level of detail inside of that is just, it's mind-blowing.
Check out the walls next time you're looking at it behind you on the walls and see if you can find anything back there you haven't seen. There's something back there I've been waiting for you to see.
So
I'm going to pour myself a nice three-figure glass of bourbon of the America type. And
America.
I'll sit down and look at it.
That's great. So this portrait is of Tim sitting in his library in his pajamas doing the Violent but True bedtime stories, and it just captures a whole lot of it. So that's really cool. I'm really glad you like that. We were excited for Dad to unveil that to you down in Florida last time you were there, and that was really cool. But let's talk about Grunt Style. I mean, you guys are an incredible company doing a lot of different things. I mean, your T-shirts. There isn't a shooting competition that we have that there's not folks wearing Grunt Style gear there. And you guys are just kicking butt and taking names. And tell us what's going on within that business. And, of course, you're a big part of America Bourbon, too. And you mentioned that. And you guys got a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've finally made the full transition down to South Texas, San Antonio, and so we're now going back into expanding, and after the resettlement, and just putting our focus into a lot of new areas. Reestablishing some really great opportunities inside that veteran marketplace, and really connecting with our veteran fans. And it continuing to expand out. We have a lot of great initiatives that are going to be coming out over the next part of the second half of the year. A lot of new great products. Putting a lot of focus back into the shooting side. It's just absolutely fantastic. There's just so much that is occurring in the business. Picking up new places that you're going to be seeing our product in stores around the country. It's hard to really put your finger on one thing that the company is doing right now that isn't exciting, right? You're seeing a lot of new videos coming out that are just full of that really tongue-in-cheek veteran satire. That's really great, and we're going to be doing some Army versus Marine competitions here that is going to be very engaging, and we're really excited to see that. Now, on the American Bourbon side, there's one fantastic piece of news that I'd love to share with everybody, and that's this is a brand that is something that we don't. It's like it's a salt of the earth brand, right? It's not one of those Blanton's that you're going to go and pay $70, $80 for a bottle of liquor for. I mean, you're going to get that $70, $80 taste, but you're going to get it at a working man's cost of like $30 a bottle, right? So we found a really great place that is going to be able to get the bottles out across the country and into everybody's hands. And I don't care what anybody says. At one point in your life, you have shopped at Walmart, and we're pretty excited to say that we've got the brand into nearly 1,000 stores across the nation. So it's just expanding that out to, because everybody keeps asking where can we find it, and we made it easy for everybody.
Yeah, everybody's got a couple
Yeah,
Walmarts.
I saw
That's amazing.
Derek Sisson or whoever, Vincent America on Facebook. One of them put it that it's coming to Kentucky, and I can't wait. I'm looking for it. So hopefully we'll get it up here one day. Kentucky's a hard state to get bourbon into distribution. And I know you guys have hit Tennessee locally, and great things happening with you guys all the time, and it's exciting.
Yeah, and I might. There's a trip being planned that the quote-unquote Booze Brothers will be making their way up to Kentucky. So I do plan on making a stop in my favorite place, Rockcastle.
Yeah, well, you're not far off the Bourbon Trail at the Rock, that's for sure.
We would be remiss if we didn't talk about a little bit. I see a lot of announcements coming out for Mammoth Sniper Challenge. I know you guys are heavily involved in that, and look forward to seeing all the detail coming out with sponsors and stuff. Great match, and hopefully you guys do even bigger this year.
Yeah, so last year was a incredible success. We put the competition at Fort Gordon in Georgia, and to our knowledge is the first non-DoD long-range sniper competition that's being held on a military installation, and they have been absolutely incredible, allowing us to use their facility. We'll be doing it again this year in the same spot. So it's going to be that moving the dates a little bit back just because of the way that the first falls in line during the week and the whole New Year's thing. So we're going to be putting it on that second weekend of the year. And last year we had well over 80 teams that had participated. We expect that number to grow this year as we continue to make the match more dynamic and more physically challenging. Last year was 30 miles that the competitors had to cover, timed, as well as all the physical events of 14 courses along the course of fire. And this year's we intend to do it more, and we've made some changes that is going to make it a bit more competitive. And I love the twist that we put on it last year, that the winning team won a gold WWE-style wrestling belt that is being held at the commander's office, the garrison commander's office. So he's housing the trophy, and we put it to where the winning team gets free entry into this year's competition, and they have to defend the title.
Nice.
That's really cool.
That's cool. Well, good stuff, man. You guys are doing great things, and look forward to having you at Rockcastle Gun Show at Rockcastle Shooting Center real soon. Sounds like you're coming up. Just where we are, and you know how to find us, babe.
Absolutely. I can't wait to get back up there, and I would. One of these days I'm going to have to get up there for the Industry Choice Awards. I missed the last couple, but it sounds like you guys do an incredible event there and have a great time doing it. And the incredible amount of weapons you guys put to test up there sounds absolutely incredible.
You get to shoot everything.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
you guys, Grunt Style needs to have a team in that, and you need to come up and do that. So we got 10 seconds left. Tell us how to find more out about the Grunt Style and everything you guys are doing.
Sure, you can find us at gruntstyle.com. We're on all the social medias. You can find out more about the Mammoth Sniper Challenge at g3dynamics.com. And certainly you could stop at any of your local Walmarts and find the finest bourbon, America bourbon.
America. That's Tim Jensen, COO of Grunt Style and America Bourbon. That's on the Rockcastle Gun Show. Thank you, Tim. And we're going to be right back next week at 6 p.m. on the Rockcastle Gun Show, the only gun show on ESPN Radio.